Welcome to Remembering Your Oneness with Xane Daniel and Monika Kupiec, where we know everything, and so do you. All right.
And we already have a hello from Venusian.
Venusian, that's a great name too. Hello, Venusian. Yeah.
And hello, everyone else.
And everyone else. What a wonderful day of non-sleep again for me. We were just talking about this. I don't know what it is. Wednesday nights, I don't sleep very well. And but luckily I took a nap.
That's
so
good.
I'm
How was
doing
your
better.
nap? Did you have any dreams?
Yes.
What, do you want to share your dream with us?
I would love to. But I don't remember them.
Oh, you're one of those people that don't remember your dreams?
I know, not always. It's a mixture. You know, some of them I remember, some of them I do not. And my nap dream, I do not remember, unfortunately.
Ah, bummer. I once read or someone told me that it's more important to the feeling that you feel when you wake up from your dream than the dream itself.
Ah, sure, yeah.
So
yeah, there was a little bit of stress in that dream. I do remember kind of being like, oh, like waking up going, oh, well, I'm glad whatever that was isn't happening. So it wasn't super positive. But, you know, since my awakening and since that enlightening experience and all the new approaches that I really take to life, I don't have nightmares anymore. They just don't happen.
Or maybe you respond to them differently so that way it doesn't seem like a nightmare.
Yeah, that's true. And I have had that experience too, where I've had like fear tests is what I kind of call them. And and when you have a fear test and you go, oh, I'm not afraid of this because I know that the only thing you can actually do to me is make me feel fear. So I'm not afraid. And then the fear test, you know, it fails. And then it's over. And so, you know, there's no more nightmare.
Yeah.
Eduardo's in the house. Thank Eduardo for your $5 super chat. Woo!
Thank you. Yeah, and I agree with the fear testing in your dreams because I get the same thing too, where I really get tested with how aware I am in the dream and how seriously I take it too. So it's not like a matter of like, I don't know, being sucked into the dream further and further. Sometimes I get curious. Like I'll wake up a little bit and be like, well, what's going to happen next? I want to find out more.
Yeah,
and then like I'll fall asleep and go back to that dream. So I'm like more curious when it's a bit of a thriller. I'm like curious. I'm like, ooh, like what's going to happen today? What's going to happen now? But then obviously it's like a relief when you do wake up if it is a little bit more like on the stressor level.
Right. Yeah, I've definitely had those. And then I've even had the types of dreams that last years. So recurring years, you know, over and over and over and over again. There was one that I had when I was a kid that I was trapped in a house, and the house was full of traps. So everything that was in the house could kill you. And so, you know, I would be trying to get out of that house, and then I would die, and then I would wake up, and then you know, another month later, I was back in the house and I was trying to escape the whole thing. And it finally ended with me escaping the house. And then I never had the dream again.
Interesting. When did you escape from the house?
I probably was a teenager by then. Yeah.
Interesting. The only reoccurring dream that I can remember is that my neighbor had maybe like 100 puppies and I was playing with them, and I would have the same occurring dream for quite some time.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's a good one to have. That's way better than trying to escape a house that's going to kill you. The puppies, you know, Rachel just says that the house what is this? The house psychologically is a metaphor for the self. So I was trying to kill myself throughout my childhood, I guess. And though I didn't, you know, feel that way. And so I wonder what the metaphor is for puppies, for 100 puppies, not just a puppy, but 100 puppies. I think it's really important
It was
that we
definitely a
distinguish
lot of
it.
puppies. It was definitely more than one.
Right. And so were they like, was it a fun experience? Were they like biting you and you were trying to say like, no, stop biting or anything like that? Or is it all just
Probably
positive?
some It was all super positive, just
Okay.
very heartwarming. I just always remember feeling so, like, happy and like, "I want a puppy," but I never manifested a puppy.
Interesting. Oh, good work. You brought us to our topic. Yay. Yeah. Laura Runner says 101 Dalmatians, but they weren't Dalmatians, were they?
No, they weren't. They were more like a mixed breed, like, probably, like, I don't just, like, they were all just different breeds of puppies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for some reason when you said that, I was picturing them as all white, like 100
Hmm,
white puppies. I don't know why.
interesting.
I didn't even recognize that I had done that.
101 Dalmatians was definitely, one of my favorite movies too.
Yeah, okay, yeah, well, okay, so that might explain it a little bit. So this is really small on my screen today for some reason. So Venusian, I had a dream like that. I was trying to take a newborn puppy by leaving the house because a bear had walked inside. Right? Yeah. You
Oh,
gotta
man.
get the puppies out. I mean, bear's gonna eat the darn puppies. Definitely. Good for you. I wonder what that was all about. What was the bear and that, and what was the dogs and the puppies and you? What were you? Were you, or were you something else? I mean,
Mhm.
that's kind of crazy about dream stuff. Is that you can talk to a dream interpreter and they'll tell you something different depending on the person. And
Oh,
it's
for
always
sure.
interesting, but I don't usually put a lot of credence to it because, who knows if
Mhm.
the dream interpretation rules apply to me. Do they apply to you? Do they apply to everyone? I
Right.
don't know.
I mean, sometimes when, like, I get random animals in my dreams, I usually go and look them up, like, what does the spiritual meaning of this animal mean? Because sometimes they'll have, like, a little bit of truth in it.
Yeah.
But I feel like anything like that is just like a take it as a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
never
It's a
like there
guide.
could be something with it, or it could just be, your subconscious mind that's just like just trying to vent or take
Right.
something out.
It's like seeing 1111 a million times and you finally go, well, gosh, what the hell is this? And you go online and you type 1111 and then you discover spirituality and it's an
Yeah.
awakening moment. Like, it could be anything, right? Like, so
Mhm.
it's cool. Okay. So topic, manifestation. I had a really good time with that video. I like really enjoyed that. I've been really working toward being more and more comfortable and natural in front of a camera
Mhm.
because I get into like lecture mode when I'm in front of a camera. And we were talking about this beforehand, but I really receive feedback when I'm talking to somebody, right?
Mhm.
They're nodding, they're smiling like you're doing. Like that's very helpful for me because okay, I'm going down the right path, right? All right. If you were sitting there going, bored, then I would be like, okay, changing topic. Let's move on to
Mhm.
something else. And so when I'm looking at this dead camera, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. If anybody watches my videos, I'm out in the middle of the mountains of Tucson, Arizona. There's nobody around. And so I'm going, what if I'm getting no feedback at all? Like, am I even talking about anything worthy, I suppose? Or I don't know. I'm not actually questioning that about myself, but it's still uncomfortable. And so now I've got over 50 videos on my YouTube channel and it's starting to get more and more comfortable and relaxing. And so now more of my like conversational personality is starting to come out even on the standalone videos. And I was happy about that.
Yeah, that's great. It's always just consistency and that will help you, grow. And even if you feel like you're talking to nobody in front of the camera, I feel like that's almost better because it really helps you just bring your message forward instead of being not necessarily manipulated by other people, but make you change what you hold true to yourself.
Right. Yep. Yes, that's very well said. Or guided by their, what they're
Energy.
interested in hearing. Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, this is really good, and it probably would have been good for them, but they're not paying attention, so I'm going to have to go over here and talk about something else.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's a really good point. I like that a lot.
Yeah. It's a matter of what do you wanna manifest when you are making your video.
Right. Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So I hadn't talked about manifestation yet at all in any of my videos. I hardly ever discuss it
Mhm.
because it hasn't been a major part of what I do. I'm helping people overcome childhood traumas. I'm helping people overcome, blockages and negative entity attachments and things like that. And so manifestation is more of a higher vibrational experience. Like
Mm.
you want to be in a pretty great place before you try to manifest, because a lot of times you're manifesting what you don't want when you're in a lower place rather than manifesting what you do want when you're in a higher place. So it just really hasn't come up as a major thing, but I have had some very interesting experiences with it, which I talk about in the video, that led me to where I was, and I'm kind of interested to know from you, because I've already talked about it, and maybe we can go back and regurgitate that. But what is your manifestation method?
Well, before we get to that, I do wanna say how aligned this topic is because
Yeah.
I was actually watching manifestation videos like yesterday and the day before, just like randomly they like popped up on my YouTube like search feed, and it like reminded me like, "Oh, I haven't done this in a while." Like I haven't actually sat down to like write like what it is that I want. Like it's really easy to just think about it, but like just thinking about manifestation doesn't actually work. Like you're actually going to have to like sit down and put it in concrete terms. And yesterday I even said like I'm actually working on like rebranding myself, like actually fine tuning what my art does and like how to like market it better. So I like made the intention or set the right wording that I want someone to help me with my branding. And turns out like I posted something on Facebook and one of my friends like was helping me with my website, and he's like asking me about all this like branding terms that I've never even like heard of. And
Right.
just a couple like minutes ago, I before getting onto the show, I was like, wow, that was really quick. Like I asked for someone to help me with branding and I actually got it. And it wasn't like me seeking it out. It was just more of like I put something out to the world and it came right back.
Right.
So it's definitely cool that it does work. It's just that you want to be clear. And I feel like when it's aligned with your path, it will come back even sooner. Because,
Hmm.
like, sometimes, like, just even you think you mentioned it in your video of wishing that, sometimes I wish for a boyfriend or I wish for a guy to be a little bit more aligned with me, but it's not really coming to me because it's a wish. It's not really like a true desire because I don't know exactly what I want in a guy. And because I don't know what I want in a guy, like I'm getting all these like mixed relationships because it's like what exactly what I'm asking for because I don't know what I want. So I
Hmm.
feel like manifestation really works when you're super clear and it's aligned with your path.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's kind of fun that you didn't know that I was going to be making a manifestation video, as usual. I tell you the night before, hey, this was what the video is going to be tomorrow,
And
and
you
then
didn't even tell me this time. This time I was actually pulled to go watch yours. I was like, "Oh," like,
oh
'cause
right,
I woke up early and then I'm like, "Okay, like, maybe I should go check up on Xane, like, what he's up to." And it was manifestation, and I was just, like, mind blown. And I, like, loved the activation. I felt really good from it, and you just made it really clear, like, okay, I need to keep it's almost like a validation when I watched your video because I was already watching manifestation videos, and then yours, like, kind of just came and just really wrapped it around that, like, okay, this is the path that I should stick to right now. Keep being clear with what you want, and then it's gonna come back to me.
right, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I had so much fun with that one because I was in that conversational mindset and doing all that, and so I wasn't even planning on doing an activation for that video. I was just going to
Mhm.
tell the story about how I work with the Hathors and the way that they manifest with me. And then I just went, oh, I should do an activation. Okay. And then I did one. And then halfway through the first one, I received more information about doing a second one and how it
Mhm.
would work. And so then I had everybody do it. And the feedback I received was like off the charts. Like I don't think I've ever explained that on the show, that anytime I do an activation where I'm making that sound and the word and all that, I receive like a chill based feedback, I would say. I used to call it a
Mhm.
heat rain. It would rain down my back. I could feel it. And it's always been based on how successful slash, important slash number of people that will see it. So I used to, when I was first starting off, I would record them, of course, and then put them on YouTube, and I wouldn't know how successful the videos were going to be, but I would receive feedback that would tell me how successful the video was going to be. So then I was telling you this story, there was one day that I was doing it. I was setting alone, doing the recording, did the
Mhm.
activation, and did, that moment. I felt no feedback whatsoever, which is very, very unusual. I almost always feel something. And I thought, oh, wow. Okay, well, I guess this video is going to be a dud. So then I finish it all up and I go to put it on the computer and I'm like, oh my gosh, my microphone wasn't turned on. So I had to redo the whole thing. And then when I did it, I got the full video or the full feedback from it. So I
Mhm.
was really amazed and blown away that it was like, no one's going to hear this, dummy. Right. so, so you get no feedback.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, interesting how, like, you can find the humor in with, like, your because it was basically your intuition or your Hathors, they're the same thing,
Yeah.
and, like, they were telling you exactly what was happening, but then you didn't, like, register, like, "Oh, it's because my mic
Right.
was turned off." You had to
Right.
wait until you got home and, like, upload it to actually, like, make the connection, but it's not
Uh,
like you went into, like, resentment mode or, like, you were guilty that that happened. You probably brushed it off and you laughed that, like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, they were right."
yeah.
Like
Right. And then it's actually come up again where I'll be going along and I'll do the activation. I'll feel nothing. I'm like, oh no, and I check and like, yeah, my microphone was off again. Gosh darn it. So they let
That's
me know.
awesome.
They need to let me know at the beginning of the video. But anyway,
Well,
save
it's
me all the
probably
trouble.
so you can have that funny moment with yourself. Or
Right.
maybe it's just something that you needed to first, like it's kind of like planning. You were planning what you were saying until, like, you had to record it again and, like, make it stronger or just be more
Right.
confident or even just to loosen yourself up too. Because I know sometimes when I, do yoga before I actually record yoga, then I feel more aligned with what I'm gonna be teaching versus just doing it on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
But I even liked in your video that you said that the Hathors tell you to ask for more, that you're not asking enough. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, like that's totally me. Like I'm definitely not asking for anything right now. And it's like I feel like that's the whole point of life is to keep asking for something to, to keep going. That's not necessarily like a materialistic thing, but just I guess any direction in life. Cause I think the past year I've just been like happy with where I'm at and I'm happy,
Yeah.
living the life that I'm doing. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of don't have that many dreams left because I moved to Hawaii and that was like my biggest dream. And
Right.
like I already traveled to Australia and New Zealand, my other like dreams that I had as a child. So I feel like I have to make
Yeah.
new
And you
dreams
even swam
now.
with sharks.
Yeah, I even swam with sharks. Yeah. So I feel like I need, as an adult now, like I need to, or this new chapter in my life, I need to set new dreams to then, move to the next stage in my life. Cause it's
Sure.
like the things I wanted from a childhood, maybe I didn't get the puppy that I wanted from my dreams, but I
Right.
do have an amazing like cat that kind of like fulfilled that same feeling, probably even more.
Right.
So like the Hathor's just reminding you to ask more. That's really awesome. And are you asking for more now, or?
No, I mean, I'm planning to, but I mean, I just recorded the video yesterday, so I haven't had
Mhm.
really a chance, but I would like to. And there are definitely a few things that I can focus on moving forward. But, you know, at the same time, what I teach is acceptance. What I teach is unconditional love for everything exactly as it is, because when we're
Mhm.
dissatisfied, we're at a lower vibrational frequency. When we are wishing for things, then we're in lack and we're in deficiency, and that's lower vibrational. So the best process to get to the point where whenever you manifest something, it just appears, is to actually be in flow and acceptance for everything exactly as it is. Then when you finally do say, well, yeah, it'd be cool if I had this, and boop, you know, it's going to appear and you're going to be able to move on with it. So it's kind of great.
Yeah. We have
Okay.
Rachel. Rachel
I
said
know. I'm
something.
going to throw Rachel's comment up here. So let's see. Oh, man, it's so small. Whenever I make a mistake, I remind myself that synchronicity is aligning that for me, and that there is value in all contrast. Absolutely.
Mhm.
That is the beauty of synchronicity. And you know, Bashar, channeled by Daryl Anka, his entire society is based on synchronicity. So anytime anything happens at all in their society that they would consider negative, they celebrate, because they know that something amazing is going to happen as a result. And imagine
Mhm.
if we as a society did that. COVID hit. Yay! You know, something amazing is going to happen. We're all stuck at home. Yay! It's for a great reason, I'm sure. This is all miserable and everybody's mad. Yay! You know, like it would be a completely different world. It's the path to a utopian society, really.
Yeah. Rachel even said to not give up on the puppies.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll try not to.
Do you want 100? I don't think that would probably be a good idea.
Well, maybe it could be opening up a shelter or helping out at a
Oh
shelter.
yeah,
You
right.
never know. You
Yeah, or
never know.
having a dog ranch. A
Dog
friend of
ranch.
mine, a friend of mine that I used to work with would say, like, I would go, "What do you really want in this world?" And he says,
Mhm.
"I just want a dog ranch where you have hundreds of dogs roaming free."
I feel like I'd rather have hundreds of dogs than hundreds of cats, because I feel like I like my one cat, but I don't know if I can like, my neighbor's cat has been coming around, and she doesn't really like him, but,
Mhm.
like, he doesn't care that she doesn't like him. He still, like, hangs out, and, like, he's even more affectionate than she is to me. Like, he'll sit on my lap, I'll be laying on the porch, and, like, he'll come on my stomach and start massaging my stomach, and I'm just like, "Who are you?" Like, you don't even know me, and you're, like, super, super affectionate.
Right, right. Well, the dogs are like that too. They're like, "Oh, you're a human being, and I love human beings." Blah. You know, they're good. They're good with it. So it's that unconditional love thing. But you know,
Mhm.
cats can also have unconditional hate as well. They can just like, "Rah, you should not be in my space right now. You
Mhm.
die, thing."
Well, she actually scratched me yesterday because she stepped on my paint, so I had to, like, clean her paw, but she didn't
Oh,
like that, so she,
right.
like, scratched me instead. So it was the first time she did that, but I'm sure it was out of love and not out of
Yes, a love scratch. Yes, absolutely.
she'd
Oh
be
yeah.
she'd be like, thank you for cleaning me."
Right. So yeah, my favorite feedback. Well, no, there's been a couple, but there when I was doing the soul essence activation for the chakras, which is like a 20-minute activation.
Wow,
Um, yeah, yeah,
sounds intense.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The ones that I do on the YouTube videos are just like boop, they're nothing compared to the big ones. And
I feel
yeah,
like I
I'm
had to
doing.
experience one.
Yeah, there's actually one on YouTube that you can experience. There's
Mm.
a couple. The soul essence activation, if you type it in, you'll get to it. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty intense. Like you really feel it. You definitely have the energy feedback or energy hangover the next day or the next couple of days. So I highly recommend it. Anyway, so I was doing. I was learning how to do it. It was during my training, and I received, you know, you could do it to water. And I was like, oh, really? I could
Mhm.
do it to water? That's weird. All right. Well, I lived right on a river at the time. So I was like, okay, let's do it to the river. Oh my gosh. The feedback that I got was crazy. It was the biggest that I had ever had up to that point. And I think it's because, you know, that water goes through a filtration system and then people drink it. So I essentially activated thousands of people with that water activation.
Hmm.
And the same is true for the comic book. So I activate the comic book, especially at different points. Like there's a big twist in the story, then I give people an activation based on that moment, on that twist moment. And and the feedback I've received for that is really off the charts as well. It's been really fun.
That's really incredible. I didn't think of putting an activation into a book in a way. Because I definitely add them into my paintings, like the energy.
Yeah.
But I've never thought about it with like a book.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's great. I mean, I've had people reach out to me and go, especially people that are not in the spiritual world at all. And they'll reach out and they'll go, I feel totally different, like from reading that. What did you do to me? You know, and I have to explain it to them. And they're like, oh my gosh, that totally makes sense. Like there's no other explanation for how I felt after reading your comic book. It was so weird because the full soul essence activation, which you haven't done yet, I've got a friend of mine who is a science researcher, and he loves to try to figure out what's going on from the spiritual community. Anytime he learns something new, he's like, okay, let's see, there's got to be a reason for this. Like when I did crystals, he's like, oh, there's this thing called time crystals. And he like did all this research and he sent me all this stuff. Anyway, so I gave him the soul essence activation, and he's a plant medicine user. And as soon as I finished with it, I said, okay, how are you feeling? And he's like, I feel like I'm on acid right now. And I said, okay, so what do you think's happening? And he said, it's got to be happening on the quantum level. There's no other way to explain that I feel completely different than I did 20 minutes ago. So it's kind of cool.
That's great. Nate has a question. Since you can't really see it, I'll read it for you. Nate says, I've attempted to manifest a handful of times in my life, but the things have never come to fruition. Could this be because my vibration is too low?
Yeah, it could be. Let me see. Yeah, I'm getting that that's a yes. So yeah, I'd love to talk to Nate more about this and what's going on in his life and what is causing his low vibration. Like, are there problems with family, with childhood traumas, with relationships? You know, where's he at, and to try to start to understand what's going on there.
Yeah, or it just could be not the time for those manifestations to come forward. Definitely took me maybe 5 or 6, 7 years to move to Hawaii. So, it's not like it's going to happen instantly. Like, right. Oh, I'm going to move to Hawaii, and then boom, like it happens in a week.
You close your eyes and you open your eyes and you're on a plane. Like, how did I get here? What's going on?
Yeah. So there's definitely like maybe just more like of a process to get to the manifestation than it happening instantly. Like, yeah, getting that person to help me with my branding happened kind of like overnight, but it's just because it was more aligned with what I'm doing this week, because I've already been working up to changing things up that has led to that moment. But like now manifesting, like say like a husband or something, it's not going to happen. Like someone's going to propose to me tomorrow. It's probably going to take a couple years, but like just putting the right intention and raising my own vibration to get to that level of that person that I meet is going to manifest itself in some form.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Again, like if you're in a state of flow where you're not in a state of needing things or wishing for things or being dissatisfied with things, then when you do manifest, it comes a lot easier, I think.
I agree. Yeah.
I like Maria. She says that I should activate all the waters in the world. And actually I can activate all the people in the world. And it's interesting because Ethan Fox was my mentor and teaching me how to do what I'm doing, essentially. Like he introduced me to the concepts that I carry with me a gift that I didn't know every human being did, or a series of gifts. And so he helped me figure out what they were. He didn't teach me how to do them, but he helped me figure out what they were. And what's interesting is I said, well, why can't I just go ahead and do this to the whole world? And he said, a lot of the people in the spiritual community that are powerful like that, they don't do that because you're not asking for anybody's permission, that you're just blah, doing it to everyone. So when I did it to the river, I didn't realize what I was doing, right? I was just kind of experimenting, and then I didn't realize that everybody was going to drink the water and they were going to have the effects. But then he went on to say that, if you get permission and you can work with your guides and you can work with whoever in the spirit world to get permission, and then you could do something like that. And so I haven't actually gotten permission yet, but I also haven't tried in a while again. So I think that would be a cool idea, and see what kind of impact that we can make on humanity. But I have a feeling that one of the reasons that more and more people are waking up is because the most powerful light workers in the world are doing things like that. They are affecting the entire world with their activations.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I agree, Etta, that other people are doing the same thing, putting their spiritual activations and so forth into their writings and into their work, just like you're doing with your paintings. And since I don't draw the comic, right? The comic, I write it, and I have 3 artists that work on it. I usually remind them every once in a while, like, put very positive intention into this while you're doing this. Like, don't do this when you're miserable. Do this.
Oh, I have to work on Zane's comic now.
Yeah, Zane's comic. Ugh. Yeah.
So is there something that, because you said that you haven't really thought about what you want to manifest next, but is there like an idea of something that you would want to work?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'm not supposed to.
Staying alive.
Yeah,
we should switch the topic.
Right. Yeah. Change the topic. No, I've been kind of, I had a wonderful romantic relationship. It lasted like 13, 14 years. It ended perfectly and wonderfully and beautifully and all that. So I definitely like the idea of having another one. I think I'm starting to get close to being ready for that. And so I would imagine that would be happening somewhat soon-ish. But at the same time, I'm kind of unstable. I'm driving all around. I'm doing all this stuff. So I meet people in different cities, and it's like, yep, but bye, so there hasn't been really a great connection like that. But I would really enjoy something like that. So that's probably top of the list.
So then then are you looking, would you want a partner that likes to move around too? Or would you rather have someone that wants to be in one set location?
Probably move around, because that's generally what I'm doing.
And that's what you like?
Yeah, I could see it both ways though, because I do like the idea of being stationary some of the time. Like I have been pondering, like, okay, maybe I should get a place that I could be at for a couple of months a year, 5 months a year, something like that. So I'm starting to open up to that, but I do really like the traveling as well. I don't want to just be stuck in one place. So somebody who likes both of those things would be cool.
I feel like you should focus on the traveling and then just meeting and experiencing whatever you need to. And then maybe you'll meet someone in a special town, and that's going to be your sign to, to set your roots over there. But maybe she'll be on the road too in her own van, and you guys will be like, let's join in one van.
Right. Yeah. I wish we could just take them and go and like merge them together as one van. Yeah, that'd be awesome. No, yeah, I'm open to any of that. That's that would be great. Yeah, that's probably, and there's all kinds of little things that I would like to be able to manifest, but I have to really sit down and think about it. And I actually kind of have a journal where I go, okay, these are the things that I'm striving for, helping the world in a larger way, am, having this sort of experience, like the swimming with sharks experience. I do like the ocean a lot. I want to be more near the ocean again and do more swimming and things like that. So, I've got my list of stuff like that that I keep up with a couple times. No, once every couple of months.
So maybe that should be a regular
Yeah,
thing.
maybe I need to increase the amount of time that I do that. Yeah.
One of my friends, she just told me to write like a love letter to my future husband and like actually list out what it is I love about him and what I love what he does with me type of thing. And I think it was a very clear way of putting out what it is I'm looking for in a partner. So it's like just writing them a love letter and explaining why it is you love them.
Well, that's a cool idea.
It really like it really made me clear how of what I'm looking for, because it's easy to make a list of like, oh, I want someone that loves me back, or someone that has good features, or is spiritual or is connected to themselves. But when you're actually writing it in sentences, it was very powerful and very emotional for me. And then she said to look back and reread it, so like that energy starts to to come forward. So maybe if you already have the partner that you have, if you're listening, maybe you could use that as a love letter to yourself, that, of what it is that you want from yourself and what you love about yourself, if you already have those things that you are looking to manifest.
I see.
And it's like writing to your future self, of like thanking your future self for becoming the person that I want her to become.
Right. And so like if you are a road rager and you write in your letter to yourself, it's amazing how calm you are behind the wheel now. That sort of thing. That's what you mean, right?
Maybe.
Because you're saying like, you're writing a letter to your future self, I guess, that of the features and qualities and things that you want to have in your current, but you've decided or noticed that you don't have those things, like road rage. And so then you write, oh yeah, great job on figuring out the road rage thing. You're so calm behind the wheel. You're great.
Yeah, exactly. When I was actually doing my yoga training 5 years ago, we wrote a letter to our future self, and they mailed it out to us, I think a year after, or maybe 2 years after. And I thanked myself for traveling to New Zealand and just listening to my heart and listening to my intuition, and all of that happened. So
right.
It was, and I think I cried like when I read that letter. I was like, oh my God, like I'm so proud of myself. Like I actually believed in myself like back then. And it's just like the little things that you say to yourself, even like now, because I am writing a book too. Like I reread some of the stuff and I'm like, was I writing this for myself, like for my future self? Because it like resonates so well with me. And I think it's really powerful with the words that you say, and that's exactly what manifestation is. It's the way that you talk to yourself,
right?
Explaining if it's an actual wish, like how you were saying that that's not really a good vibration because you're lacking. It's a state of lack. But if you're actually intentionally saying, I'm proud of you, I'm happy that you got over your road rage, then it's like you're going to take the steps to get over it, or to become aware of what triggers you, and then you'll be able to bring room for the next thing in your life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so can you interpret what Etta means here? I think you have resistance manifestation more right now, Xane. What is resistance manifestation? I'm manifesting resistance, or I'm resistant to manifesting.
Maybe resisting to manifesting, I think.
Yeah. I would like for Etta to clarify that a little bit more, because I would like to know what her insight is to me, into me.
Houston, hi, Hugh Husan. Hi, Husan.
Hi, Husan. Yes. And then this was pretty good too. I would suggest saying, well, bring me more goodness, more goodness. That would be going, oh, wow, I don't know what that word is. Going genera and aligning with your highest good.
But I feel like bring is still bring me more goodness. I feel like that's not really clear. because you don't know what's the goodness that you're asking for,
Mhm.
because it's very broad. I
Right.
feel like
Well, and goodness is a judgment. You're judging something that's happening, and you're declaring that it's good. Well, maybe it's good for you, but it's bad for someone else. So that is not necessarily, finding the good. It's finding the judgment. I'm manifesting more judgment. General,
oh, she
going
just
general.
said it. Yeah, it is
That would
going
be
general.
going general. Yeah, aligning with your highest good. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. We're making fun of poor Etta for that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But yes, I do believe that more pointed things that you want to do. There was somebody that reached out to me after my video this morning, and they said that they were manifesting the materials or the resources. I think it was the word they used, resources to create something, right? And I quickly wrote back and I said, yeah, but the problem is that if you ask for the resources rather than a thing, then you're saying, I want the resources to make X, Y, and Z. Why don't you just make the manifestation X, Y, and Z? Because maybe you won't even need the resources, because you'll just get the thing already ready for you. So, right, if you say, well, I need the money to buy whatever, then just ask for the whatever, because maybe you get it because somebody gave it to you as a gift, right? So you don't have to, use the money for it. So that's an important one, I think.
Yeah, it's like simplifying it even more. Like take away the fillers and then just get to the transformation already.
Right.
I was even I think it was last week or the week before, I was watching the new Secret movie. I think it was on Prime, if not Netflix. It was on one of them. And the line that one of the characters said, he's in terms of manifestation, he said, if you don't know what you want, how can you ask for it?
Right.
So I was like, that was mind blowing. Like, all right, let me just get clear with what I want, instead of just like, the same thing with wishing, or to just be like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that.
Right.
So it's like, stop being in a form of lack, but actually get clear with that transformation that you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can ask the right question to then manifest it.
Right.
And honestly, like, I don't use manifestation that often. I started my spiritual journey when I was 14, so that's when I read The Secret. I was doing the manifestation things, and then once I kind of got in a habit of understanding what manifestation does, I kind of just stopped asking. And I feel like now it's just like, manifestation is just a way to level up your life until you get to your next flow, or until you get a little bit more, I don't know, I guess, like, happier. Because then, like, when you're ready to then level up again, then like the manifestation kind of comes back into your life of like, hey, remember, you can ask the universe and it can help you out, it can cheer you on.
Right.
So it's like, it's definitely different like stages in your life where manifestation will really work for you. Because I think if you ask for something every day, you might lose the juiciness of it, or the actual meaning of what it is that you want. It's almost like, it's good to like put it to the side, and then you carry on with your day, but creating like an altar in a way of this thing that you're looking for.
Making the request and then knowing you're going to get there is why they say to just make the request once. Because if you feel like you have to constantly make the request, that means you're living in a state of lack. You're living in a state of deficiency. I've made the request to find a romantic partner. Okay. And then if I know I'm going to find one, then I don't have to keep doing it. But if I think, oh no, it didn't work, now I got to do it again. And if you do it every day, you are constantly in a state of saying that it's not going to work. So that's why they say to do it once and forget it, because you are so confident. You are such a powerful being of light that you don't even have to keep saying it over and over again. So I want to answer Nate's question here. Any specific manifestation practices that have worked for you? If you didn't watch my video, mine, it's very unique, I think, to me, but it could be for others as well. And that's just simply going into a meditation state. Doesn't take long at all, just like a few seconds of breathing comfortably. And then for me, I receive information that I'm connected now with the Hathors. And it comes in the form of like a little bit of tingling across my forehead. And as soon as that happens, I just simply say, I have a request. And then I make the request, and then it's over. And again, like I was just saying, I don't think about it anymore. I don't worry about it anymore. It's good. Now, for this van, I actually made that request, and I tried a vision board. And so I actually just took a picture of the van that I wanted, and I put it on my wall. Just a small little printout. I just taped it to, a whiteboard, and I didn't really even think about it. But every once in a while I would see it and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's going to be my van, and then move on with my life. I didn't really sit there and go, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten it yet. When am I going to get it? What kind of van is it going to be? Is it going to be in time? Is it going to be nice? Is it going to work? I didn't worry at all. I just, knew that was going to come, and then it did. And so I think that your confidence in your ability to manifest is extremely important. And then they also say that you should operate as though you already have it. You should, if you want to be wealthy, you should operate as though you are wealthy. You should just know that you have lots of money, and you know that you can buy anything that you want to. You've just decided not to right now. And or whatever. So it is all about that, being in a state of not lack, being in a state of abundance at all times, knowing that you're going to have, or that you already have, everything that you ever need.
Yeah, I was going to add that vision board was one thing that I used when I was living in Chicago. I bought this huge canvas of a wave from IKEA, and that was my vision board. I was like, I'm gonna be seeing waves,
right.
and I was more in a state of like, oh, I wasn't in like the state of I'm not there yet. It was more of like, I'm going to be riding this wave, and it's going to be the time of my life. I even had like a little poster of like 2 palm trees and like a hammock, and I envisioned myself in that hammock of like having the best day of my life, just laying in this hammock. And sometimes when I do lay in my hammock, I like reflect back of like, I remember when I thought that this would be a cool feeling, and it is. So I feel like the vision board thing, like maybe have 1 or 2 things. Like you just had a picture of your van, and I just had one canvas of the wave and that one other poster. I sometimes feel that when you have a collage of the different things, it could give out mixed signals, because it's, again, that clarity isn't strongly there. So maybe, Nate, like focus on one thing and find a picture of that, and then just put it on your wall and think about it occasionally, and set the positive feeling of you being with that object or feeling that you're looking for.
I'm feeling also that I should do another one of those activations for everybody who's listening right now. So what I would ask everybody to do is to think about that thing that you would like to manifest. Just start to picture it in your head for a second. Maybe you have to sort through because you're just going to pick one. So pick your one that you would like to do, and in a minute or two, we'll go ahead and do an activation for that. We'll give you a chance to think about the one that you want. Oh yeah, okay. Edda is talking about scripting also works for manifestation, and most importantly, connecting to your desires or situation and feeling peace about it. That works for me. And so that's kind of like a journal entry, right? Where you're sitting there trying like, okay, this is what I care about, and this is what I don't care about. And because of these things that I do care about, I want more of this or whatever. And you kind of like lead yourself down the path. I think that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, it's very similar to how I said writing that love letter to your future person, or it's just really making it clear. And as I think also just venting into your journal, it'll become clear of what you're actually looking for, because maybe there's something that you constantly repeat yourself writing, and then rereading it helps too with like giving you that eye opener that you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hopefully everybody has thought of their thing that they want to manifest. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a nice big deep breath. And relax as you exhale. Feel yourself sinking into the chair that you're sitting in. And I want you to picture this thing that you're requesting. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's a partner. Maybe it's an object, a thing. Maybe it's an event, an experience. Maybe it's a business. It can be anything at all. So picture this thing as though you have it, as though you're interacting with it right now, that you have achieved this, whatever it is, you've received it. And I want you to think of the emotional experience that you would be having from this. And I want you to feel that emotional experience as best you can. Imagine that moment of receiving this thing that you want, or imagine yourself, if it's like a business, working on it and loving doing it. Whatever it is, picture the thing and how it makes you feel. The way my activations work is I'm going to say breath in. You'll take a nice big deep breath. You'll hold it at the top and you'll wait for me to make the sound awaken, and then you can exhale. And while you're doing all that, continue to picture this thing and your emotional experience from it. Breath in. Oh, good. All right. When you're ready to manifest this thing that you want, you can open your eyes. Nice.
That was beautiful. Good job, Xane.
Thank you.
I feel like a very, very deep peace within me.
Nice.
Almost like a confidence boost. Like, yeah, you're gonna get it.
Nice. Yes, that is right.
Maybe because this is my third activation from you today.
Right.
So if you don't feel the way I do, go watch the video so you get 2 in a row.
Right.
Because you did 2, right? I feel like
I did. Yeah, because the first one I did was just to increase your ability to manifest, and then the second one was much more targeted toward whatever it is you wanted to manifest.
Yeah, definitely. It like changed. So my like thing that I was looking for in the video versus now. So that was cool to experience. So it was almost like not like one was better or worse, but I feel like it's more clear of what I'm looking for and what I should spend my attention on.
Oh, cool. That's nice. So you manifested clarity.
More clarity. Yes.
Yeah, right. Nice. Oh, thanks everybody. Beautiful.
Oh, look at that, Xane. Everybody loves you unconditionally.
Yay. That's because I love them unconditionally.
That's good.
Nice.
Well, hopefully we answered everyone's questions. Does anyone else have any other questions about manifestation before we head out?
Yeah, I want to know.
You want to know? I'm curious too.
I want to know. Yeah. And you definitely need to let us know if the thing that you just manifested comes into being.
Ooh, so, I like that.
Yeah. Next week during the show, the week after that during the show, reach out to me on Facebook, whatever. Let us know so that we can say, look at that. We did it together. We're a team.
The Oneness team.
Yeah, Georgianne is somebody who I met when I was in Phoenix. Yeah, I'm actually not too far, and I'm actually going to go to Phoenix Saturday, Georgianne. So maybe if you're feeling up to it, we can meet up. But it's pretty cool. She's one that she went to an event that I was, talking at, and when she receives my activations, she has the most amazing response. She's just like she has to take this extra breath like this, like when it comes over her, like she's like, oh my gosh, like she's just under a wave or something. It's pretty fun.
I want to meet her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
So where are you currently in the world?
I'm in Tucson, Arizona. They
Phoenix.
call it Tucson here for some reason, but
Weren't
it's
you in Sedona or no?
no. I haven't
Oh,
been in
you haven't been?
Sedona in a while now. I passed by earlier, maybe it was last year, but yeah,
Mm.
Georgia. Yes. So you want to? I think that's the we should get together thing.
Mm.
So yes, definitely, let's do that, Georgianne.
Oh, Etta is in Paris. That's
All
cool.
right. All right. Definitely. We'll be doing that we'll come
Are you
visit
gonna be
you.
doing? You should be doing a Euro. You should do a Euro tour.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would love to do that. That would be so much fun. I
My
bet you.
best my
Go
best
ahead.
friend is doing that now. She's building her van and she's gonna be going around.
In Europe.
Hmm.
Now, how is she building it there?
Yeah, she's in Poland now, where her part of her family is, and
Okay.
then her uncle does a lot of construction, so she's just using his stuff to. She bought a van, and now she's showing me photos of her putting the wood on all the walls,
Okay.
the
Okay.
two
Yeah.
by fours or whatever they're called.
Right.
But it looks really cool.
I wonder what.
Maybe I'll go be there in
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah. I wonder, like I have figured out how to live in a van here in the US fairly well. I
Hmm.
wonder what the rules are or the experience is like there where it's like, okay, where can you sleep? Where can you dump
Hmm.
your water, your gray water, and your all that stuff that you have to deal with. I wonder how they do that in Europe. It'd be very different and probably different per country.
True. Yeah, probably. Yeah. But I mean, I've seen videos of people doing that in Europe, so I'm sure there's definitely a way.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. There's
I
definitely
guess
a way.
I guess if you really want to, you can put that in your manifestation list.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you're in Europe, you'll tell us all how you made it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes, that'd be cool. Yeah, I've got friends there, like Maria's in Sweden. I would love to
Mhm.
visit her. And yeah, I've got friends all over the place now. It's pretty beautiful. It's fun.
Look at that. Maybe you just gotta spread your wings a little further and ask the
Yeah.
universe a bit
Right.
more.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could just ship my van over there, but it'd be too big. It'd be too big for the streets there and
Mm.
parking spaces and things. This thing takes up a full parking space plus here in the US.
Uh,
It wouldn't fit down most streets in like some of the original European city areas.
mm. Well, that's just something to learn.
Yeah, I've got a fun story to finish it off. So my ex and I rented a big RV in 2010, and we drove through it was kind of northern. I mean, it was eastern Canada. So we went all the way. We went to Montreal and Quebec City and so on. And when we were in Quebec City, that's very narrow streets because that's like one of the first European, cities in Canada. And the mirrors on that thing stick way out, because it's just a really wide vehicle.
Yeah.
It was like a Friday night that we got to town. And so everybody's out on the streets and there's lots of stuff going on. And so we're coming down the street that's way too small for us. And there's whole crowd of people is waiting to cross the road. And we're coming with these mirrors sticking way out. And I'm yelling out the window, look out, because these people had to like dive out of the way because they were going to get hit by the mirror of this thing. It's like, whoops, this is way too big of a vehicle for these narrow streets.
But it's really interesting how, like, the trend was to do the RV life, and then now it's the van life.
Yeah.
And it's like really downsizing and just living even more minimally. So, like, maybe this is your transition too, that, you'll maybe eventually get a smaller vehicle because you realize you don't need this much space. That way
Yeah.
you can get into different areas that require a smaller vehicle.
If I had a partner in here, it'd be pretty tough. it would be quite tight. I don't know if I could get much smaller than this, but well, that was obviously the start to this because we did that. I liked it, but it was so big that it was really a pain. Like it took up 2 full parking spaces, and
Yeah.
it was really hard. There'd be places where like we'd love to go there, but we can't fit. Like bye, we had to move on. So I didn't like that as much, and that's what made me decide to get a smaller vehicle for this.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, it's
All
all
right.
about the learning process.
Yeah. Edda's going to be our guide in Paris. I don't know why I'm saying our guide, but maybe you'll come with me. Maybe we could take the show on a tour.
That'd be cool. Well, I do eventually want to do a book tour when I publish mine, so maybe that will be part of. You'll be my driver, and then my chauffeur.
This is interesting how this is working out. Yes, I do actually like driving quite a bit, and this van, even though it's this giant thing, super smooth ride. It's weird how it is such a smooth ride. So I'm happy about that.
That's good. You're finding what makes you happy, and
yeah, exactly.
I think that's important.
I like driving so much that when I get to the destination, I'm almost disappointed because I want to keep going. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, oh man, I already made it. Like I was listening to music and I was having so much fun. I just want to keep going. Okay.
Why aren't you like a truck driver then?
That I'm sure I wouldn't like. I'd like it for about a week and then I'd be like, okay, done with this. Let's do something else.
Maybe because it's for your own pleasure that you're doing it for,
right.
or just your way to, talk to yourself and be with yourself.
Right.
Your self-care.
That's exactly right. Okay, well, it's been an hour already. And thanks to all the listeners who gave us comments and questions and fun. That was lots of fun. And Eduardo for his $5 super chat. And thanks for everybody else. Even if you didn't say anything, we still love you unconditionally. Okay? And next time you'll have to say some stuff and we'll interact with you. All right.
Bye, Xane. Bye, everybody. Aloha.
Bye, Monika. Bye, everybody.